Congressman Randy Feenstra was at the Sioux City Country Club today showing support for Israel. The nonprofit group Iowans Supporting Israel brought in Feenstra to talk about his trips visiting Israel and talk about the stories he heard while he was there, while they need the support of the United States.
I wanted to tell the story of how important Israel is to the U.S. and I've been there multiple times, and we had a great group of people here that wanted to hear and were also advocates of Israel-American relations.
Feenstra said that people need to realize groups like Hamas are terrorist groups.
Well, the key factor is, again, telling the story that the United Nations and the things that are hearing, the propaganda that's out there is not true, that Israel is trying to do everything and they're trying to get the hostages back, but everybody has to understand that Hamas and Hezbollah are terrorist groups.
There will also be an Iowa Supporting Israel banquet. That's going to be held in Des Moines, October 28th. And for more information on this banquet and how you can attend, you can visit our website at ktiv.com.